Hi, and welcome to another episode of Well to Do. Are you well to do? Are you abundant in wellness? That's what this show is all about. And I bring you the best guests every single week that can help you have more vitality. I'm Andi Lew, and I'm excited to share that this episode is powered by Optimal Health and Wellness. It's also being electromagnetic frequency. Can you say that? Electromagnetic frequency harmonization by Aries Tech. Aries Tech is an EMF company that helps you to harmonize the, radiation and frequency that's around you. And our guest is going to be gifted with a flex, which can go on your keychain. And I'm actually wearing it on my necklace today. So let's welcome from Optimal Health and Wellness, Dr. Clement Lee.
Thank you, Andi. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, listen, you have cutting edge technologies in medicine that can help us to stay so well. You're in natural or integrative medicine as well.
Medicine,
yeah. Tell us all about your ethos.
Sure. As a naturopathic doctor, we're in a unique space where we blend, the cultures and natural medicine, traditional medicine, and then now to the modern medicine as well too. So we integrate it, in a harmony where we just know that the body has the ability to heal itself, and we have, the available tools to help the body reach its full potential.
You really do. And talking like that just gives the body, I guess, so much love for the fact that you know how the body works and what kind of environment we need to give it so that it can heal itself. You don't hear many doctors talk like that.
Yeah. In the Western realm, we have a lot of, fancy tools. We have, prescription medications, surgeries, advanced techs, but we don't go down to the basics. The body innately has ability to heal itself. We just have to figure out what got in the way of its ability to heal itself and then allow it to gently move forward in the way that it can.
And gently move forward. That's so incredible that you even use that word, because a lot of medicine can be invasive, it can be a shock to the human experience. What are some of the practices that you think allow it to gently move forward with medicine?
Well, starting off with mind-body medicine, just the mind is very powerful. It dictates down to the cellular level what can be performed. But if you have the wrong mindset, or if you've gone through different traumas in life or different obstacles that you have within your own mind, you have to learn how to free them. And then once you can do that, then the body can just do it kind of gently on its own. But if you need more force, this is where you can implement, supplements, nutrition, pharmaceuticals even, but just at the right timing, just to harmonize with the body so that it goes in the way that it's meant to go.
It's so interesting that you say that, because, you're really honoring what the body's designed to do and how it can respond in so many different ways. Medicine or health isn't a one size fits all approach or formula. It's not how health is practiced, right? So individualistic in your approach. That's why it's so important to come into your practice and be properly assessed, which I actually did. And I was so impressed with how holistic the approach was. So do you get other people really kind of going, well, this is a brand new experience for me at Optimal Health and Wellness?
Yes. We have patients that have gone through the traditional Western medicine route and been basically seeing all the experts, all the specialties, and they're looking for answers still. They're still not any better than where they were, probably sometimes even worse.
Really?
So we're in a position where we're just going back to the roots. We look at the lifestyle, your sleep, your family, status, the nutrition, and then we just kind of marry all those things with, we have advanced laboratory testing, diagnostics, peptides, supplements, IV therapies, injection therapies, stem cells, exosomes, ozone, etc. But we really go back to just figuring out where the body was missing what it needed, get rid of the things that were getting in the way of its healing process, and then encourage it to heal, to its full potential there.
And, again, reiterating that it seems so simplistic to you, but to others who have been indoctrinated with, here's one pill, it goes straight to the area of symptom, not understanding that it still goes to the gut. The body needs to process it. Mm-hmm. Now it needs to, recover twice, once over the original illness, and again now from the dysbiosis of the gut and the nervous system from having taken that medication. You're already one step ahead, aren't you? You already know that if there's going to be a side effect, you're already on top of that, right?
Right. The thing is the paradigm shift. In the Western medicine realm, not to say anything is bad or anything, it is a very more systems oriented problem focused area, but we're not looking at it from a holistic lens where as humans, we are holistic. And, if you can't take away different parts, you take away the heart, things will fall apart. But, if you just treat the heart only in the Western realm, you're still going to get limited because, the lymphatic system might be messed up. Your brain still might be messed up. Your nerves might be messed up. Other areas that need a focus. We go back into the roots, just as a whole. The body really is harmonized when everything works, as it should.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, this is fantastic because, as you say, most people have been everywhere and then they finally come to you at Optimal Health and Wellness and they go, okay, this is what's been missing, basically. Yeah. You're even looking at their environment. I mean, whether we have tragedies that have happened and you've been there doing charity for when there were fires in LA, and I've seen, how dedicated you are to your mission and service, which thank you so much. But, you're acknowledging that we're going to have health ramifications from all kinds of things, right?
Yeah, it's a cumulative approach. I mean, like, the thing is, everything from your childhood to how you were actually born from either C-section or vaginal delivery dictates how your cells are going to respond. And every little, trauma, good or bad, they make up who you are, and also part of your mind as well too. But you're not set in stone that way too. That's one thing you got to realize. Like, people, you may have had a bad childhood, you may have had bad parents, and those are out of your control to an extent, but you can take control of it now. You can rewire some of these pathways. You can actually relearn what your body's been through. So you actually can create a new operating system for the body to move forward.
This is so important for people to understand. And some people describe this as epigenetics, that we don't have to be victim to our past. And, we may have a genetic predisposition to something, but the genes will only get expressed if you give them the wrong or right environment.
Right, yeah.
So what is the right environment and what's the wrong environment for most?
Well, truly, it just goes down to stress. Everybody takes stress in differently. But if you go into like Buddhist monks, for example, they've learned how to like meditate so that their body nervous system is back to like a neutral environment, and then their cells respond as they should. Our bodies go back and forth between stressful and then non-stressful environments, primarily through our nervous system. So we have both sides of the coin. We have the sympathetic, which is your fight or flight response, and your parasympathetic, which is rest and digest, but they can't be in two places at once. So the thing is, if we've gone through different experiences in life that have pushed us more to the fight or flight response, we can work on getting ourselves back down to that nervous system balance where it's just neutral. Whether it's, if you have too relaxed, then you're not functioning as well as you would need to either, but you need to get back to both. This is where, looking back at your history, sometimes things are traumatic and it might be difficult to go back, but there's ways that we can help the body kind of maintain neutrality during those experiences so that you can actually, reframe how you've been through, your experiences in life, so that you're actually learning from them. And then you actually, maybe show gratitude for what they've got you along the way, but now you have a different trajectory that you can move forward with, and knowing that the body does have the full potential to heal, knowing that things are, the way they should be. And then you basically just getting back to knowing that your body can be rewired, cellularly to achieve its maximal potential.
Yeah, that's interesting. And if I may say and share, I actually am experiencing that with your care, if I can share as a testimonial. I would never have thought of something like neural therapy that you suggested. And the nervous system does have a memory. So even though, I'm doing so many things, all the things, my body just really needed to feel like what it feels like to be safe again.
Yeah.
and that's what we created, right?
Right.
So, and we're still working through it again,
Right.
It's never just one thing. It's always multifactorial, but we're working through the layers and allowing the body to remember, if you like.
Of course.
Yeah. Am I describing it right?
That's a great way to describe it. I mean, just going to neurotherapy briefly. I mean, it is probably the fastest way to access the nervous system. I mean, you can do, breathing exercises, you can do cold plunges, you can do, meditation, but the nervous system through with neurotherapy, using local anesthetic, you can basically get the nerves back to a electrochemically neutral state, and then that can basically undo years and years of pent up electrical buildup in the system here.
And we literally just switched it off for a period of time.
Yeah, like 20 minutes.
And allowed my body. When I did go through breast implant illness, I remember lots of things. Like I remember my body slowly shutting down. I was waiting for, the implants to be removed and I couldn't find the right, surgeon. It was so traumatizing. And even just saying it, I've forgotten what I was going to say. That's how traumatizing it was. Most people don't realize there are things that they've gone through in their life that their nervous system is still, I guess, hanging on to, if you like. But now I remember, I remember going, oh, just get them out of me and put me to sleep. And I remember for the first time looking forward to going under anesthetic in such an operation, because I just wanted to be well, and had to remove that inflammatory driver. And I was kind of medically gaslit, being told that there was nothing wrong, So I remember like that feeling of giving your body a chance to reset, you know? So I think the ethos behind, removing inflammatory drivers, allowing the nervous system to remember what it feels like to feel safe so that it can do what it's designed to do, which is heal. What are some of the other things that people come to you for that you've seen? I guess not just a trend, but the new understanding of, people are now starting to say, get me to the root cause, doctor.
Right. Well, I mean, I would say most of the metabolic, issues begin starting at the higher level, where is either limbic system and or the nervous system themselves. So if you are in, a state of stress, there's a lot of inflammatory pathways that occur. Your body's slow to detox. You build up, infections. So things just kind of go a little bit haywire over time. As we all know, like stress is the underlying, killer for a lot of diseases, or a lot of causes for a lot of diseases. So we kind of get to the root of what is actually stressing our nervous system and or our cells. So this is where like the neurotherapy is a direct impact on just allowing the nervous system to actually literally reset. But the brain higher up, this is where I am exploring the route of like psychedelics or different type of either devices that can access the limbic system, which is part of your default mode network, basically your ancient brain that dictates survival mechanisms. So if you can get the limbic system to feel safe again, all of the memories that you've accumulated also are housed in that space. But you can make it feel safe through various exercises or the use of these plant medicines. You can get the body back to kind of the neutral baby-like state. Once it's there, it's easier for your immune system to respond as it should. It works for cancers, works for infections, works for chronic, aging diseases, but also, your body can actually cellular detox, because your nervous system, it responds to primarily the vagus nerve, but the parasympathetic system is what actually innervates your lungs, your stomach, your liver, your kidneys, your colon. So if those organs are actually innervated 100% with the proper nerve function, then it's easy to pass out toxins and eliminate, all the metabolic waste that's building up in our system just due to life. So this is why getting back to the root is getting the nervous system kind of in a neutral state where it can handle the stress and start to actually relax for once.
So thank you so much for teaching us how the body works, because I think people are more excited to take on recommendations and stick with them when they understand what's actually happening, right? So you're such a good educator. And I mean, that's what the word doctor means. Le dossier, is that how you say it? Yeah, to teach in Latin. And, not many doctors go out of their way to teach and educate the patient the way you are. By the way, I don't like saying the word patient because it means one who suffers.
Sure.
And like when they come to you, they're not suffering anymore, right? But, when the person's coming to you and they're starting to get their body back to a state of balance again, because that's all healing is. Like so many things get better from just being in balance is what I'm picking up. So you would say, yes, it's so important to have that nervous system running well, which I'm a huge advocate of, chiropractic. So that's one way to do that. But then, really at the cellular level is what's crucial, because then those natural detoxification pathways, the liver, the gallbladder, the kidneys, etc., the digestive system are working the way they're designed to flush.
And then on another level, just down to cellular level, the cells can uptake nutrients better. They can process the energy better. So you just become more energy efficient when the cells are in a homeostatic state here.
Oh, amazing. So now we understand the body's job and how it works to heal. What surprises you most in practice? I just think it's amazing that the shift now that we're in the wellness revolution, people are actually even asking, doctor, give me the root cause.
Right.
But there is a new movement of people who, want, I don't like calling it anti-aging, but are obsessed with not aging as much.
Sure.
Firstly, it's a privilege to age, right? But what is this obsession? I mean, I'm known for becoming ageless, but the word for me means that we are eternal beings.
Right. I think people are worried about just feeling bad as they get older. I mean, reality is you can live long, but if you live long functionally, and then you one day just pass out in your sleep,
Right.
I mean, that's the way that most people want to live.
Right.
You don't want to live long and then suffer along the way, or you want to suffer until you die. So this is kind of, I guess the trend is trying to maximize your, I say the term is health span rather than lifespan in this case. So you have many good years ahead of you until you do end up, passing. It's unfortunately built into our DNA to an extent, but there's actually some ways around it, trying to like extend the aging process, which, I mean, there's always new insights coming on this realm.
So you think that people are associating the word aging with being in pain, with not working so well, with not having energy. And so,
Right.
yeah, we don't have to age the way we've been taught.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
We can have a better quality of life.
Exactly. Yeah.
So do you know many centenarians?
Yeah, my family, my great grandmother lived 103, so it's in my genes a little bit too. So I'm a little blessed for that part.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
You look so great for 70, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
No, but I mean, there was a reason for asking that, because you either come from a family who, when you're in this kind of practice, who are already practicing a healthy lifestyle, or you haven't and you've changed it, and that's what's
Right.
drawn you, right?
Yeah.
What do you think's drawn you to being in medicine?
Well, just the ability to help people. I mean, that was always my goal. I mean, I was a Boy Scout and just wanted to go through, life and just trying to find ways to help people out. I didn't know I was going to be, a doctor during my, undergrad. Well, kind of had a direction towards healing, but really I found my calling in naturopathic medicine, and it made sense because this is everything I recommend to patients, I do myself. I'm actually practicing what I preach. Whether I've peptide or supplement or fasting, I recommend it. I do it myself as well. So this is testament to showing that it actually works for me, and it's probably going to work for you as well too. And this is why I like this realm, because I can apply this medicine to myself and to my family.
So peptides is a massive, I guess, movement right now.
Right,
And
yeah.
I think a little bit too much, because people are getting hyper focused on just give me the thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So tell me, what should we be aware of? Because self-prescribing would be one of the things I'm concerned
Right.
about.
I mean, peptides really work. This is why people are diving into that realm, because they actually do start fixing things. But if you just take a step back and what is wrong with the system? Where will this peptide help me? But what other things in my life can I do as well to support the peptides? Then you'll get the most benefit out of the peptides, because you can throw in peptides to the sickest individual, but if their nervous system's, kind of messed up in this case, I've seen it where peptides don't do anything. They actually have paradoxical reactions. They don't really help the patients. Patients, their cells are down to the cellular level, are in defense mode. So they can reject the peptide to an extent. So this is where utilizing peptides as a single agent are not kind of the best medicine. It's still very much a pill for an ill, but we really want to go back to as a holistic environment, is you can peptides do have their place. If you work on the sleep, nutrition, life, then you can add in peptides. You get many more benefits that way.
That's so interesting, isn't it? Because you say there's a pill for every ill.
Yeah.
And you use that phrase because that's what we've been indoctrinated with. And then there's a side effect. And in science, you don't learn cause and effect. I mean, you don't learn cause, effect, and side effect. You're just learning cause and effect.
Yeah.
So, what are some of the side effects that we need to be aware of when we're just going for something because we've seen a trend?
I mean, it's very individualized, because peptides down to cellular medicine, they're instructions. They're instructing certain pathways to perform. But if you have other pathways that are getting gummed up through to toxins or infections, or just your mind, the mindset, then the peptide may not have its intended effect, or may not do anything at all. I mean, you're just wasting money in that case.
Yeah. Okay. So making sure that the body's ready to receive whatever it is, and getting it prepared for that.
Right.
So tell me, what is your wish for the world? Because, I mean, you're really busy in practice. You're even making time to do the Well To Do podcast because, as you said, you just wanted to help people after being in Scouts. That was your, I guess, whole crusade.
Yeah.
If we could wave a magic wand, what do you think you'd love to do?
Just know that this medicine's out there. I mean, there's other practitioners in this realm, my fellow naturopathic doctors, but also in functional medicine doctors. So I think there's a trend towards medicine going into the more root cause or functional medicine realm, where we can actually help a person to reverse chronic illnesses, so that we could thrive and live optimal, healthy lives, as we were meant to be, and not suffer. We're meant to suffer in other means, but really, like, health wise, if you really know what I know in terms of how to help the body to heal, most people should be doing reasonably well. That's the thing is, so I would like people to know that this medicine exists. First of all, naturopathic medicine has been around for quite some time, but it hasn't really gone as much, I guess, pizzazz as functional medicine would be. But really, like, there's a collective group of doctors now that are just in it to help people to live as optimally healthy as they can.
You are definitely that, in that collective. Yeah. You have a big vision for the world, and your team are absolutely amazing. To be honest with you, I think that is definitely one of the reasons why your practice is so successful. If I may say, all I've witnessed is the most incredible empathy, understanding, patience, and they're also so thorough. From the phone call to the front desk to the emails, in the way that they communicate, you really are a team. Do you think that's because you're looking after your staff as well?
Yeah, I mean, I think we treat everybody as family at the end of the day. So patients come in, we try to treat them as family just the same. I mean, we give the same level of empathy. So we're not just in it for money. I mean, anything. We're trying to get people better. Whatever it takes. Some people, they may need some extra coddling here. Some people are need extra instruction. Some people have no clue what they're doing, but we're there to help. At the end of the day, we want people to basically take control of their health to the point where they are feeling excellent.
I mean, that really reflects. Regarding your ongoing studies, you don't stop. You're staying at the top of whatever is out there. Tell me about that. What are you wanting to continually learn?
Well, always learning what is the next best modality or treatment, or even philosophy to better help my patients as well as myself too. I'm always a patient, lifelong patient and learner. But yeah, just wanting to get the next best thing in terms of traditional medicine, as well as advancements in modern science. There's a little bit of everything that's left to learn.
Yeah. What was the last seminar you just did?
This was back to the naturopathic roots, and this is a naturopathic conference. So this is celebrating 40 years of our naturopathic, conference association. So going back to the roots of my professional ancestry.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, that's nice.
40 years.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So, okay, is there any one modality that we should talk about that you are really proud of that you offer in the practice right now?
I would say, wow, that's a good question, because there's a lot.
There is.
In terms of intravenous therapy, there's kind of new exploration in cannabinoids,
right?
So CBD. So I am really, I've been using it for about a year and some change here. I've seen some dramatic changes in patients' presentations in realm of chronic inflammation, chronic infections, autoimmune, potentially even cancers, through the use of cannabinoids in an infusion form. So this is, I would say, pretty new medicine. I mean, because we've known about cannabinoids, CBD or cannabis for probably centuries, and in modern medicine, it's kind of been more legalized in terms of oral CBD and hemp, but
this isn't marijuana.
This is not marijuana. So this is just the down to the molecules of CBD and or other cannabinoid molecules, and
in a drip,
in an IV
straight
form.
to the bloodstream.
Straight into the bloodstream. So just going back to the roots of, in our system, we have something called the endocannabinoid system, which is basically cellular communication between each of our organs and down to the cells themselves. But they can be influenced by plant-based cannabinoids. So the body can't differentiate between what it makes on its own versus what you're providing it. But as we age, the cellular messages tend to decline. So when you get an infusion, or if you're just taking cannabis, CBD orally, topically, you're reintroducing these molecules back to the system. This is why they're, helpful for chronic pain or anxiety or sleep, but you're just refueling the system back into the, into normal function. Where down to with the infusion level, you can be more specific at how you're utilizing them as well. Right. And you have a whole host of benefits where we're trying to just do some research on and figure out, what are the best, outcomes for patients.
So you're just seeing incredible outcomes, as you say, as you're administering this relatively new way of I guess infusing the CBD.
Yeah.
And so you want to learn more because it's incredible and
It's incredible, yeah.
different to
Yeah.
anything you've ever sort of seen in practice. And this is really cutting edge, as you say. Optimal health and wellness is really all about. I just want to thank you so much for being, I guess, a leader in the field of, I guess, modern medicine, would you call it? Natural modern medicine?
It's a mix of both. I mean, honestly, just getting the best medicine back to the patients, or the population. Yeah.
Yeah, where can we find you? Obviously, you've got a practice in Pasadena.
Yeah.
Can we also look you up online and ever send off labs and still work with you?
Sure. Well, for my office website, it's opthealthwellness.com. And then for social media, that's Instagram at Dr Clement Lee. And I'm working on building up my content. So out there, I have a lot of the stuff kept inside so far, but I'm working on trying to get my visibility out there.
I think you're doing a great job. Sometimes you can't be good at everything. That's why
hard, yeah.
I brought you in here to try and give you that push, because you are a great educator and you're very busy in practice. And I won't even suggest that you should write a book because you don't have time. But thank you for sharing your wisdom.
Yeah, thank
Make
you.
sure you follow Dr. Clement Lee and check out the website. Optimal Health and Wellness really is about giving you optimal health. And that's what Well To Do is all about. So if you loved the show, please share it. And if you want to get yourself an Aries Tech Flex as well, like we're gifting to Dr. Clement, then remember to use my code ANDI30, ANDI30, and you'll get 30% off.